Chapter 1. The Whispers of Winter. The wind howled a mournful dirge through the skeletal branches of the pine trees, each gust a frigid whisper against the small, isolated cabin nestled deep within the Swiss Alps. Snow, a relentless curtain of white, fell in thick, swirling flakes, blanketing the landscape in a pristine, if unforgiving, embrace. Inside the cabin, a fire crackled merrily in the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the rough-hewn wooden walls. But the warmth of the flames did little to penetrate the chill that had settled deep within Alara. She sat by the window, her gaze fixed on the swirling snow, yet seeing nothing. Her world, once a vibrant tapestry of scents, had become a muted, scentless void. The fire, the pine trees, the approaching Christmas, all were reduced to mere visuals, devoid of the aromatic symphony that had once defined her existence. Alara, once a celebrated perfumer, now lived in a world of silence, a world where the vibrant language of scent had been brutally silenced. Christmas. The word itself felt like a shard of ice piercing her heart. It was a time of joy, of warmth, of shared laughter and cherished memories. But for Alara, it was a stark reminder of all she had lost. The scents of cinnamon and pine, of gingerbread and mulled wine, the comforting aroma of her grandmother's Christmas cookies, all were ghosts now, haunting her with their absence. She had retreated to this remote cabin, seeking solace in isolation, hoping to escape the festive cheer that felt like a cruel mockery of her reality. A sharp rap on the door startled her from her reverie. She frowned. She hadn't expected anyone. She rarely had visitors. The solitude was her self-imposed penance, a way to shield herself from the world that no longer spoke her language. Reluctantly, she rose and crossed the room, the floorboards groaning beneath her feet. She hesitated for a moment, her hand hovering over the latch. Who could it be? And what did they want? Another knock, more insistent this time, spurred her into action. She opened the door a crack, peering out at the figure standing on the porch. He was tall and bundled in a thick winter coat, a woolen scarf wrapped around his neck, obscuring most of his face. He carried a small, worn leather satchel slung over his shoulder. Snowflakes clung to his hair and eyelashes, giving him a slightly whimsical appearance. "Yes?" Alara asked, her voice cool and guarded. "Good afternoon," the man replied, his voice warm and cheerful, a stark contrast to the biting wind. He removed his scarf, revealing a friendly face with bright, inquisitive eyes. "I'm Leo. I'm here to fix the music box." The music box. Alara had almost forgotten about it. It was a relic from her childhood, a gift from her grandmother. She had dismissed it long ago, a mere trinket from a past she could never revisit. "I don't think that's necessary," she said, her voice flat. "It's just an old music box." Leo smiled, a disarming, genuine smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. "Your grandmother thought it was special," he said gently. "And I believe it is too." He gestured to the satchel. "I specialize in restoring antique music boxes. I understand this one has quite a history." Alara hesitated. There was something about Leo's demeanor, his earnestness, that intrigued her. She couldn't quite place it, but she felt a flicker of curiosity, a spark of something she hadn't felt in a long time. "Come in," she said, stepping back to allow him entrance. Leo entered the cabin, brushing the snow off his coat. He took in the cozy interior, the fire crackling in the hearth, the books lining the shelves. "It's a beautiful cabin," he said. "Thank you," Alara replied, her voice still reserved. She watched as Leo unpacked his tools, his movements precise and efficient. He seemed to know exactly what he was doing. He opened the leather satchel and carefully removed the music box, placing it on a small table near the fire. It was an ornate box, crafted from dark wood, with intricate carvings on its lid. "This music box," Leo began, his voice filled with a hint of reverence, "was made by a master craftsman in the 19th century. Legend has it that it possesses a unique magic. Alara raised an eyebrow, skeptical. Magic? Leo smiled. So the story goes, he said. But I've learned over the years that some legends are rooted in truth. He looked at Alara, his eyes meeting hers. And I have a feeling this music box holds a secret. Alara remained silent, her gaze fixed on the music box. She didn't believe in magic, not anymore. But as she looked at the intricate carvings, a faint whisper of memory stirred within her, a fleeting image of her grandmother's smile and the enchanting melody that used to fill the room. A melody that, like the world of scent, was now lost to her. Leo began to examine the music box, his fingers gently tracing the delicate carvings. He worked with a quiet concentration, his movements precise and deliberate. Alara watched him, her curiosity slowly growing. There was something about this man, his gentle nature, his unwavering optimism, that was slowly chipping away at the wall she had built around herself. She couldn't explain it, but she felt a flicker of hope, a tiny ember of possibility, rekindled within her heart. Perhaps, just perhaps, this Christmas wouldn't be as bleak as she had feared. Chapter 2. The Echoes of Yesterday. The fire crackled softly in the hearth, casting a warm glow on Leo as he meticulously examined the music box. Alara watched him, a mixture of curiosity and skepticism swirling within her. His movements were precise, his touch gentle, as if he were handling a precious artifact. He worked with a quiet focus, occasionally humming a soft tune under his breath, a melody that seemed to weave its way into the very fabric of the cabin. "Tell me about this magic," Alara said, breaking the silence. She didn't believe in it, of course, but she was intrigued by Leo's unwavering conviction. Leo looked up, a warm smile gracing his lips. "Well," he began, "legend has it that this music box doesn't just play music. It captures and releases the essence of beautiful scents in the form of scent sprites." Alara raised an eyebrow. "Scent sprites?" "Yes," Leo replied. "Tiny, shimmering lights that manifest as aromas. They're said to be visible only to those who are open to magic, those with a pure heart." Alara scoffed softly. "And you believe this?" Leo shrugged. "I believe in the power of stories," he said. "And I believe in the possibility of wonder. Sometimes, the most extraordinary things can happen when we least expect them." Alara remained silent, her gaze fixed on the music box. She wanted to dismiss Leo's words as mere fanciful tales, but a small part of her, a tiny ember of hope that she had tried to extinguish, flickered to life. She remembered her grandmother telling her stories about the music box, tales of magical scents and enchanted melodies. As a child, she had believed in them wholeheartedly. But after the fire, after the loss of her sense of smell, she had buried those beliefs deep within her heart, convinced that they were nothing more than childish fantasies. Leo continued to work on the music box, his tools clicking and whirring softly. He seemed oblivious to Alara's skepticism, his focus entirely on the task at hand. He carefully disassembled the intricate mechanism, examining each piece with meticulous care. Alara watched him, her curiosity growing with each passing moment. She found herself drawn to his quiet confidence, his unwavering optimism. He seemed to possess a joy that she had long forgotten, a lightness of spirit that she envied. "What made you decide to become a music box repairman?" Alara asked, breaking the silence once more. Leo smiled. "It's a family tradition," he said. "My grandfather was a repairman, and he passed his love for music boxes down to me. He taught me that every object has a story to tell, and that sometimes the most beautiful stories are hidden within the simplest things." "And you believe this music box has a story to tell?" Alara asked. Leo nodded. "I do," he said. "I believe it holds a secret, a magic waiting to be unleashed." As Leo worked, he began to tell Alara about the history of the music box, about the craftsman who had created it, about the legends surrounding it. He spoke with such passion and enthusiasm that Alara found herself drawn into his world, a world of wonder and enchantment. She listened intently, her skepticism slowly melting away, replaced by a growing sense of anticipation. They say, Leo continued, that the scent sprites can temporarily restore someone's sense of smell, but only if they are open to receiving it. Only if they truly desire it and are willing to let go of their emotional barriers. Alara's heart skipped a beat. Could it be true? Could this music box, this ancient relic, actually restore her lost sense of smell? The thought was both tantalizing and terrifying. She had spent so long living in a world of silence, a world devoid of scent, that the idea of experiencing those aromas again was almost overwhelming. As Leo worked, the light outside began to fade, casting long shadows across the cabin. The wind howled outside, the snow continuing to fall, creating a cozy, intimate atmosphere within the cabin walls. Alara found herself relaxing, her defenses slowly lowering. She felt a sense of connection with Leo, a shared understanding that transcended words. Leo finished his work, carefully reassembling the music box. He wound it up, and a delicate melody filled the cabin, a sweet, enchanting tune that seemed to resonate deep within Alara's soul. As the music played, a faint shimmer of light appeared near the music box, tiny, iridescent sparks that danced and swirled in the air. The scent sprites, Leo whispered, his voice filled with awe. Alara stared at the shimmering lights, her heart pounding in her chest. She could see them, these tiny, magical sprites, dancing to the music's rhythm. And then she smelled it. A faint, delicate aroma, a whisper of scent that tickled her nostrils, a scent that she hadn't experienced in years. It was the scent of pine needles, mixed with a hint of cinnamon and a touch of something sweet and familiar. It was the scent of her grandmother's Christmas cookies. Tears welled up in Alara's eyes. She couldn't believe it. She could actually smell again. It was a fleeting sensation, a whisper of scent that came and went, but it was enough. It was a sign, a glimmer of hope that her world of silence might not be permanent. She looked at Leo, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. Leo smiled. "The magic is within you, Alara," he said gently. "You just had to be open to it." Chapter 3: The Dance of Memories. The scent of her grandmother's Christmas cookies, faint yet distinct, lingered in the air, a phantom aroma that stirred a cascade of memories within Alara. It was a scent she hadn't experienced in years, a scent that had been locked away in the deepest recesses of her mind, a scent that now, thanks to the magic of the music box and the gentle presence of Leo, had returned, if only for a fleeting moment. Tears welled in her eyes, not tears of sadness, but tears of a joy so profound it ached. She looked at Leo, who was watching her with a gentle smile. I can smell it," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. "The cookies. My grandmother's cookies." Leo nodded, his eyes sparkling. "The scent sprites are at work," he said softly. "They're bringing back the echoes of yesterday." Alara closed her eyes, inhaling deeply, trying to capture the elusive aroma, to hold on to it, to savor it. It was like trying to grasp a dream, a fleeting sensation that threatened to disappear with the slightest movement. But it was there, a whisper of scent, a reminder of happier times, a connection to her past. The music box continued to play its enchanting melody, the scent sprites dancing and swirling around it, tiny beacons of light in the dimming cabin. Each note of the music seemed to unlock another memory, another scent, another emotion. Alara was transported back to her childhood, to Christmases spent with her grandmother, baking cookies, decorating the tree, and listening to stories by the fire. She could almost feel the warmth of her grandmother's embrace, the scent of her lavender perfume, the sound of her gentle laughter. "Tell me," Alara said, her voice still thick with emotion. "Tell me about the other scents. What else do you smell?" Leo inhaled deeply, his eyes closed. "I smell pine needles," he said, "and the crisp, clean air of winter. I smell the warmth of the fire, and I smell something else. Something sweet and spicy. It's like cinnamon and cloves, mixed with a hint of orange." Alara's eyes widened. "Mulled wine," she whispered. "My grandmother always made mulled wine for Christmas Eve." Leo opened his eyes, his gaze meeting hers. "The scent sprites are bringing back your memories," he said. "They're helping you to reconnect with your past, with the joy of Christmas." Alara nodded, tears streaming down her face. She felt overwhelmed by a wave of emotions, a mixture of joy, sadness, and gratitude. She was grateful for Leo's presence, for his belief in the magic of the music box, for his gentle persistence that had allowed her to experience this miracle. As the music box played, the scent sprites continued their dance, filling the cabin with a symphony of aromas. Alara could smell the pine trees outside, the wood burning in the hearth, the faint lingering scent of her own perfume, a perfume she had created years ago, a perfume that now seemed like a relic from a past life. And then, she smelled something new, something unexpected. It was a warm, comforting scent, a scent that she couldn't quite place. "What is that?" she asked, her voice filled with curiosity. Leo smiled. "That," he said, "is the scent of hope." Alara looked at him, her eyes questioning. "It's the scent of possibility," Leo explained. "It's the scent of new beginnings. It's the scent of Christmas magic." Alara smiled, a genuine smile that reached her eyes, a smile that she hadn't felt in a long time. She understood what Leo meant. The scent of hope, the scent of possibility, the scent of Christmas magic. It was all around her, filling the cabin, filling her heart. The music box began to wind down, its melody fading into a soft whisper. The scent sprites dimmed, their light flickering before disappearing altogether. The scents, too, began to fade, leaving behind only the faintest trace of their presence. But the memories remained, vivid and clear, etched into Alara's mind, rekindled by the magic of the music box and the gentle presence of Leo. "Thank you," Alara said, her voice filled with gratitude. "Thank you for bringing back my memories. Thank you for bringing back the scent of Christmas magic." Leo smiled. "The magic was always within you, Alara," he said. "You just needed to be reminded of it." He stood up and walked over to the window, gazing out at the falling snow. "It looks like we're in for a white Christmas," he said. Alara joined him at the window, watching the snowflakes swirling and dancing in the moonlight. She felt a sense of peace, a sense of hope that she hadn't felt in years. The loss of her sense of smell was still a painful wound, but it no longer defined her. She had experienced a miracle, a glimpse of the world that she had thought was lost forever. And she knew, deep in her heart, that this Christmas would be different. This Christmas would be magical. Chapter 4. The Warmth of Shared Moments. The gentle snowfall continued, blanketing the Swiss Alps in a pristine layer of white. Inside the cozy cabin, a warm fire crackled in the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the walls. The scent of pine needles, mingled with the lingering aroma of cinnamon and cloves from the mulled wine, created a comforting and festive atmosphere. Alara and Leo sat by the fire, a comfortable silence settling between them. The shared experience of the music box's magic had created a bond between them, a connection that transcended words. Alara found herself drawn to Leo's quiet strength and gentle nature. He possessed a genuine kindness that shone through his eyes, a warmth that seemed to radiate from him like the heat from the fire. She had spent so long in isolation, pushing everyone away, convinced that she was broken and could never be the same. But Leo, with his unwavering optimism and belief in the magic of Christmas, had shown her that hope was still possible, that joy could still be found, even in the darkest of times. "Tell me about your work," Alara said, breaking the silence. What is it that you love so much about repairing music boxes? Leo smiled, his eyes lighting up. It's more than just repairing them, he said. It's about restoring them, bringing them back to life. Each music box has a story to tell, a history that's woven into its very fabric. And when I fix them, I feel like I'm not just fixing an object, I'm reconnecting with that history, with the people who own them, with the memories they hold. He picked up the music box, turning it over in his hands. This music box, he said, was made by a master craftsman, a man who believed in magic. He created it as a gift for his daughter, a girl with a very sensitive sense of smell. He wanted to capture the beauty of the world around her, the scents of flowers, the aromas of spices, the fragrance of the forest. And he did it, in a way that no one else has ever been able to replicate. Alara listened intently, her gaze fixed on the music box. She could almost feel the magic emanating from it, the whispers of scent sprites, the echoes of yesterday. She thought about her own perfumes, the scents she had created, the emotions she had tried to capture. She had always seen her perfumes as more than just fragrances. They were stories, memories, emotions bottled in glass. And now, thanks to the music box and Leo, she had rediscovered that connection, that passion that she had thought was lost forever. I used to create perfumes, Alara said, her voice filled with a hint of nostalgia. I was a perfumer. But after the fire, I lost my sense of smell. I lost everything. Leo looked at her with understanding. I know, he said gently. But you haven't lost everything, Alara. You still have your memories, your creativity, your passion. And you have the magic of the music box. Alara smiled, a faint glimmer of hope flickering in her eyes. Do you think I could ever create perfumes again? She asked. Leo nodded. I believe you can do anything you set your mind to, he said. You have a gift, Alara, a talent for capturing emotions and memories in scent. And now, you have something even more. You have the magic of the scent sprites. Alara looked at the music box, her heart filled with a renewed sense of purpose. She thought about the scents she had experienced earlier, the pine needles, the cinnamon, the mulled wine, the faint aroma of her grandmother's cookies. She thought about the scent of hope, the scent of possibility, the scent of Christmas magic. She realized that she could create new perfumes inspired by her experiences, perfumes that captured the essence of the scent sprites, perfumes that evoked the magic of Christmas. I think I could, she said, her voice filled with excitement. I think I could create the most magical perfumes the world has ever seen. Leo smiled. I know you can, he said, and I'll be here to help you, every step of the way. They spent the rest of the evening talking, sharing stories, and dreaming of the future. Alara told Leo about her life before the fire, about her passion for perfume, about her dreams of creating scents that would transport people to another world. Leo told Alara about his family, about his love for music boxes, about his belief in the power of magic. They laughed, they shared secrets, they discovered a connection that was deeper than either of them could have imagined. As the night drew to a close, a sense of peace settled over the cabin. The fire crackled softly in the hearth, casting a warm glow on Alara and Leo. They sat close together, their hands almost touching. The air was filled with a sense of anticipation, a feeling that something special was about to happen. Leo looked at Alara, his eyes filled with warmth and affection. Thank you, he said softly. Thank you for sharing this evening with me. Alara smiled. Thank you, Leo, she said. Thank you for bringing back the magic of Christmas. He reached out and gently took her hand in his. His touch was warm and comforting, sending a shiver of excitement through her. She looked at him, her heart pounding in her chest. She knew, in that moment, that something had changed between them. They were no longer just strangers, brought together by a broken music box. They were something more. They were connected, bound by the magic of Christmas, by the scent of hope, by the warmth of shared moments. Chapter 5. The Promise of a New Dawn. The fire in the hearth had dwindled to glowing embers, casting a soft, warm light across the cabin. Alara and Leo sat hand in hand, the silence between them comfortable and filled with unspoken emotions. The magic of the evening, the rediscovery of scent, the shared memories, had woven a delicate thread of connection between them. Alara felt a warmth spread through her, a feeling she hadn't experienced in years. It wasn't just the warmth of the fire, but a warmth that radiated from within, a feeling of hope and possibility. She looked at Leo, his profile illuminated by the flickering light. His face was kind and gentle, his eyes reflecting the warmth of the embers. She thought about his words, his belief in her, his encouragement to pursue her passion once more. He had rekindled a spark within her, a spark that she had thought was extinguished forever. "I've been thinking about the perfumes," Alara said softly, breaking the silence. "The new perfumes. I want to create scents that capture the magic of tonight, the magic of Christmas." Leo turned to her, his eyes sparkling. "I knew you would," he said, his voice filled with admiration. "What kind of scents do you have in mind?" Alara closed her eyes, allowing the memories of the evening to flood her senses. She remembered the scent of her grandmother's cookies, the aroma of the mulled wine, the crisp, clean scent of the winter air. She remembered the scent of hope, the scent of possibility, the scent of Christmas magic. "I want to create a perfume that captures the scent of the scent sprites," she said. "A scent that evokes the feeling of wonder and enchantment." Leo nodded. "That's a wonderful idea," he said. "And what about the other scents?" "The scents of Christmas. I want to create a perfume that smells like Christmas Eve," Alara said. "A scent that combines the warmth of the fire, the sweetness of the cookies, the spice of the mulled wine, and the freshness of the pine trees." "And what about the scent of hope?" Leo asked. Alara smiled. "That's the most important scent of all," she said. "I want to create a perfume that captures the feeling of hope, the feeling of new beginnings, the feeling that anything is possible." Leo squeezed her hand gently. "I know you can do it, Alara," he said. "You have a gift for capturing emotions in scent. And now, you have the magic of the scent sprites to guide you." They sat in silence for a moment, each lost in their own thoughts. Alara imagined herself in her old lab, surrounded by bottles of essential oils, blending and mixing scents, creating new perfumes that would evoke the magic of Christmas. She could almost smell the aromas, the pine needles, the cinnamon, the cloves, the delicate fragrance of the scent sprites. "I'll need to find my old formulas," she said. "And my notes. They're all packed away somewhere, in boxes in the attic." "I can help you with that," Leo offered. "We can go up to the attic tomorrow." Alara smiled. "Thank you, Leo," she said. "You've been so helpful. I don't know what I would have done without you." Leo smiled back. "I'm glad I could be here for you, Alara," he said. "You're a very special person, and I believe in you." He stood up and walked over to the window, gazing out at the falling snow. "It's getting late," he said. "I should probably head back to the village." Alara felt a pang of disappointment. She didn't want him to leave. She had enjoyed his company, his warmth, his kindness. She had felt a connection with him that she hadn't felt with anyone in a long time. "Will you come back tomorrow?" she asked. Leo turned to her, his eyes filled with warmth. "Of course," he said. "I wouldn't miss it for the world. We have perfumes to create." He walked over to her and gently took her hand in his. He leaned down and kissed her softly on the forehead. "Good night, Alara," he whispered. "Sweet dreams." Alara smiled. "Good night, Leo," she replied. He turned and walked out of the cabin, disappearing into the swirling snow. Alara watched him go, her heart filled with a mixture of sadness and anticipation. She was sad to see him go, but she was also excited about the future, about the possibility of creating new perfumes, about the possibility of a new beginning. She went to the window and watched as the snow continued to fall, blanketing the landscape in a pristine layer of white. She thought about Leo, about his kindness, his warmth, his belief in her. She thought about the magic of the music box, the scent sprites, the memories of her grandmother. She thought about the future, about the perfumes she would create, about the life she would rebuild. She smiled. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, she felt a sense of hope. The promise of a new dawn, the promise of Christmas magic, the promise of love, all were possibilities that lay before her, waiting to be discovered. She went to bed that night, her heart filled with peace and anticipation. She knew that the next day would bring new challenges, but she also knew that she wouldn't face them alone. She had Leo, she had the magic of the music box, and she had the scent of hope to guide her. Chapter 6: Dust and Dreams. The morning light, filtered through the snow-laden windows, painted the cabin in a soft, ethereal glow. Alara awoke with a sense of anticipation she hadn't felt in years. The dreams of the night had been filled with swirling scents, vibrant colors, and the enchanting melody of the music box. She stretched, a smile gracing her lips. The promise of a new day, the promise of rediscovering her passion, the promise of Leo's return. All these thoughts filled her with a warmth that chased away the lingering chill of the mountain air. She rose and dressed quickly, eager to begin the day. The scent of pine from the nearby forest drifted in through the cracks in the cabin walls, a subtle reminder of the natural beauty that surrounded her. She made a simple breakfast of bread and cheese, savoring the flavors, appreciating the simple act of tasting once more. The return of her sense of smell, even if only intermittently, had rekindled her appreciation for the small joys in life, the subtle nuances that she had taken for granted before. After breakfast, Alara went to the attic. It was a dusty, cluttered space, filled with forgotten memories and discarded belongings. Boxes overflowed with old photographs, letters, and trinkets from her past. The air was thick with the scent of aged paper and dried flowers, a nostalgic aroma that stirred a pang of bittersweet emotion within her. She began to search through the boxes, carefully sifting through the contents. She found old perfume bottles, their labels faded and worn, remnants of her past creations. She found her notebooks, filled with formulas, notes, and sketches for her perfumes. She found a photograph of herself and her grandmother, taken years ago, a cherished memory of a happier time. As she rummaged through the boxes, she felt a wave of sadness wash over her. She remembered the fire, the devastating loss of her lab, her creations, her sense of smell. She remembered the despair, the isolation, the feeling that her life was over. But then, she remembered Leo, his kindness, his belief in her, his belief in the magic of the music box. She remembered the scent of hope, the scent of possibility, the scent of Christmas magic. And she knew that she couldn't give up. She had to keep going. She had to rebuild her life, her career, her passion. Finally, after hours of searching, she found what she was looking for. A large wooden chest, tucked away in a corner of the attic, contained her most prized possessions, her essential oils, her blending tools, and her most precious notebooks, filled with her unique perfume formulas. She opened the chest, her heart pounding with excitement. The familiar scents of sandalwood, jasmine, rose, and bergamot filled the air, transporting her back to her lab, to her world of scent and creation. As she examined her notes, she felt a surge of inspiration. She knew exactly what she wanted to create. She wanted to create perfumes that captured the magic of Christmas, perfumes that evoked the sense of her childhood, perfumes that celebrated the power of hope and love. Just then, she heard a knock on the cabin door. She smiled. It was Leo. She hurried downstairs, her heart filled with anticipation. She opened the door, and there he was, standing on the porch, his face beaming with a warm smile. "Good morning," he said, his voice cheerful. "I hope you had a productive morning." "It was," Alara replied, stepping aside to let him in. "I found my formulas, my oils, everything." Leo's eyes lit up. "That's wonderful," he said. I can't wait to see what you create." They went back up to the attic together, the air filled with the scent of dust and dreams. Alara showed Leo her notebooks, explaining her ideas for the new perfumes. She talked about the scent of the scent sprites, the scent of Christmas Eve, the scent of hope. Leo listened intently, offering suggestions and encouragement. "I think these perfumes will be truly magical," he said. "They'll capture the essence of Christmas, the spirit of hope, the power of love." Alara smiled. "I hope so," she said. "I want to create perfumes that will touch people's hearts, perfumes that will remind them of the magic of Christmas." They spent the rest of the day in the attic, surrounded by the scents of the past and the promise of the future. They talked, they laughed, they dreamed. And as the sun began to set, casting a warm glow across the snow-covered landscape, Alara knew that she was ready to begin. She was ready to create her new perfumes, perfumes that would capture the scent of Christmas magic. She was ready to embrace the future, with Leo by her side, with the magic of the music box to guide her. Chapter 7. The Alchemy of Christmas. The attic, once a repository of forgotten memories, had transformed into a sanctuary of creativity. Dust motes danced in the afternoon sunlight that streamed through the small window, illuminating the shelves now lined with bottles of essential oils, tinctures, and fragrant essences. Alara, her face alight with focused concentration, meticulously measured and blended ingredients, her movements precise and deliberate. Leo sat nearby, quietly observing, occasionally offering a word of encouragement or a gentle suggestion. The air was thick with a symphony of aromas, the earthy scent of sandalwood, the sweet floral notes of jasmine, the spicy warmth of cinnamon, all interwoven with the subtle, almost ethereal, fragrance that Alara had begun to identify as the scent of the scent sprites. "This one," Alara said, holding up a small vial filled with a shimmering, pale gold liquid. "This is the base 4 scent of the first snow. I've tried to capture the crispness of the winter air, the freshness of falling snow, and the magic of that first glimpse of Christmas morning." Leo leaned closer, inhaling the delicate fragrance. "It's beautiful," he said, his voice filled with admiration. "It smells like hope." Alara smiled. "That's exactly what I was hoping for," she said. "I wanted to evoke the feeling of wonder, the anticipation of Christmas, the promise of new beginnings." She carefully added a few drops of another essence to the vial, a blend of pine needles and cedar wood that she had created earlier that day. "This will add the scent of the forest," she explained, "the aroma of the Christmas trees, the feeling of being surrounded by nature." Leo watched as she worked, his eyes filled with fascination. He was amazed by her talent, her ability to translate emotions and memories into scent. He had always been drawn to the beauty of music boxes, their intricate mechanisms and enchanting melodies, but he had never fully understood the power of scent until he met Alara. He was beginning to see the world through her eyes, a world of aromas and fragrances, a world of emotions and memories woven together in a tapestry of scent. "And what about Leo's laughter?" he asked, referring to the perfume she was creating in his honor. Alara smiled, a warm, affectionate smile that made his heart skip a beat. "That one is a little more complex," she said. "I'm trying to capture your spirit, your optimism, your joy. It's a blend of warm vanilla, spicy ginger, and a touch of something unexpected, something playful." She held up another vial, this one filled with a warm, amber-colored liquid. "This is the vanilla," she explained. "It's comforting, familiar, like a warm embrace." She added a few drops of ginger, its spicy aroma filling the air. "This adds a touch of energy," she said, "a spark of excitement, a hint of mischief." And then, she added the secret ingredient, a small amount of an essence she had created from a rare flower that grew only in the highest reaches of the Alps. "This is the playful element," she said, her eyes twinkling. "It's a little bit wild, a little bit unexpected, just like you." Leo laughed, his heart filled with warmth. He was touched by her thoughtfulness, her attention to detail, her desire to capture his essence in a perfume. "I can't wait to smell it," he said. Alara smiled. "You'll be the first to try it," she said. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the attic, Alara put the finishing touches on the 2 perfumes. She carefully bottled them, labeling each one with a flourish. She held them up, admiring their beauty, their delicate colors, their shimmering light. "They're perfect," she said, her voice filled with satisfaction. "They're everything I hoped for." Leo nodded. "They're more than perfect," he said. "They're magical." They went downstairs, the scent of the perfumes trailing behind them like a whisper of Christmas magic. They sat by the fire, the flames casting a warm glow on their faces. Alara opened the bottles, allowing the aromas to fill the cabin. "This is the scent of the first snow," she said, handing Leo one of the bottles. He inhaled deeply, his eyes closing. It's like stepping into a winter wonderland," he said. "It's fresh, clean, and magical." Alara smiled. "And this," she said, handing him the other bottle, "is Leo's laughter." He took the bottle, his heart pounding with anticipation. He opened it and inhaled. His eyes widened. It's me," he said, his voice filled with surprise. "It's warm, spicy, and playful." Alara laughed. "I told you it was unexpected," she said. They sat in silence for a moment, savoring the scents, allowing them to transport them to another world. The perfumes were more than just fragrances. They were emotions, memories, stories bottled in glass. They were the alchemy of Christmas, the magic of scent, the power of love. Chapter 8: A Gift of Scent. The cabin was filled with the lingering fragrances of Alara's newly created perfumes, a blend of winter's crispness and warm spices, a testament to the magic they had conjured together. The fire crackled merrily in the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the walls, creating a cozy and intimate atmosphere. Alara and Leo sat close, the shared experience of creating the perfumes having deepened their connection. A comfortable silence settled between them, a silence filled with unspoken emotions and shared dreams. "These perfumes," Alara said softly, breaking the quiet, "they're more than just scents. They're memories, emotions, bottled in glass. They're a gift, a way to share the magic of Christmas with others." Leo nodded, his eyes sparkling with admiration. "They're truly special, Alara," he said. "They capture the essence of Christmas, the spirit of hope, the power of love. They're a gift from the heart." Alara smiled, her heart filled with warmth. She looked at Leo, her gaze lingering on his kind, gentle face. She felt a connection with him that she had never felt with anyone before. He had believed in her when she had lost faith in herself. He had encouraged her to pursue her passion, to embrace her talent, to rediscover the magic within her. He had given her the gift of hope, the gift of possibility, the gift of love. "I want to share them with the village," Alara said. "I want to give them to everyone as a Christmas gift." Leo's eyes widened. "That's a wonderful idea," he said. "The villagers will love them. They'll be a reminder of the magic of Christmas, a symbol of hope and joy." Alara smiled. "I want to give them to everyone," she said. "I want to share the magic with the whole world." They spent the rest of the evening discussing their plan. They decided to package the perfumes in small, elegant bottles, each one adorned with a handwritten label. They would write a short message on each label, a message of hope, a message of love, a message of Christmas magic. The next morning, they woke to a world transformed. The snow had stopped falling, and the sun was shining brightly, casting a sparkling light across the snow-covered landscape. The air was crisp and clean, filled with the scent of pine and the faint aroma of the perfumes. After a quick breakfast, they set to work, preparing the perfumes for distribution. They filled the bottles, tied the labels, and carefully packed them into small gift boxes. The cabin was filled with the sweet, spicy scent of Christmas, a fragrance that seemed to infuse the very air with magic. As they worked, they talked about their plans for the future. Alara told Leo about her dream of reopening her perfume lab, of creating new scents that would capture the beauty of the world around her. Leo told Alara about his dream of traveling the world, restoring antique music boxes, sharing their magic with others. "I want to travel with you," Alara said, her eyes sparkling. "I want to see the world through your eyes, to experience the magic of different cultures, to capture the sense of different lands." Leo smiled, his heart filled with joy. "I would love that," he said. "We can travel together, sharing our gifts with the world, spreading the magic of Christmas wherever we go." They finished packing the perfumes, their hearts filled with excitement and anticipation. They loaded the boxes into Leo's small van and set off for the village. As they drove through the snow-covered landscape, Alara felt a sense of peace and happiness that she hadn't felt in years. She had found her passion again. She had found her purpose. She had found her love. She had found the magic of Christmas. They arrived in the village, a small, picturesque community nestled in the heart of the Alps. The villagers were preparing for Christmas, decorating their homes, setting up their Christmas trees, and preparing festive meals. The air was filled with the sounds of laughter and music, the spirit of Christmas in full swing. Alara and Leo parked the van in the village square and began to distribute the perfumes. They gave them to everyone they met, sharing their story, sharing their magic, sharing their love. The villagers were touched by their generosity, their kindness, their spirit of Christmas. They accepted the perfumes with gratitude, their hearts filled with joy. As the day drew to a close, Alara and Leo stood in the village square, watching the villagers celebrate Christmas. The air was filled with the scent of the perfumes, a fragrance that seemed to weave its way into the fabric of the community, a symbol of hope, a symbol of love, a symbol of Christmas magic. Alara looked at Leo, her eyes filled with love and gratitude. "Thank you," she said softly. "Thank you for sharing this magic with me." Leo smiled, his heart overflowing with love. "Thank you, Alara," he said. "Thank you for sharing your heart with me." They embraced, their love as warm and bright as the Christmas lights that twinkled throughout the village. They knew that their journey had just begun, a journey filled with love, magic, and the scent of Christmas. Chapter 9: Echoes of Joy. The village square, bathed in the warm glow of Christmas lights and the soft shimmer of freshly fallen snow, buzzed with a festive energy. The air, now infused with the delicate fragrances of Alara's perfumes, carried a unique magic. Laughter echoed through the streets, mingling with the cheerful carols sung by children bundled in warm winter clothes. Alara and Leo, hand in hand, wandered through the crowd, their hearts overflowing with joy as they witnessed the happiness they had helped create. Alara watched as a young girl, her eyes wide with wonder, clutched a small bottle of scent of the first snow. The girl's mother smiled warmly at Alara. "Thank you," she said, her voice filled with genuine gratitude. "This is such a lovely gift. It smells just like Christmas morning." Alara smiled back, her heart touched by the woman's words. "I'm so glad you like it," she replied. "I hope it brings you joy." Nearby, Leo was engaged in conversation with an elderly man who held a bottle of Leo's laughter in his gnarled hand. "This perfume," the man said, his voice raspy with age, "it reminds me of my youth. It's full of life, full of joy. Thank you for bringing back these memories." Leo smiled. "It's my pleasure," he said. "I'm glad it brings you happiness." As they moved through the crowd, Alara and Leo witnessed countless similar scenes. The villagers, young and old, were touched by the gift of the perfumes, each scent evoking different memories, different emotions, different joys. The fragrances had woven their way into the fabric of the Christmas celebration, adding a layer of magic, a touch of wonder, a whisper of love. Alara felt a sense of fulfillment she had never experienced before. She had rediscovered her passion, her talent, her purpose. She had created something beautiful, something meaningful, something that brought joy to others. And she had shared it with the world, with the help of the man she loved. Leo turned to her, his eyes filled with warmth and affection. "It's wonderful to see how much people appreciate your gift," he said. "You've brought so much happiness to this village, Elara." Elara smiled, her heart overflowing with love. "We've brought happiness," she corrected him gently. "We did it together." Leo took her hand in his touch sending a shiver of excitement through her. "We make a good team," he said. "We complement each other perfectly." They continued to wander through the village square, their hands clasped tightly together, their hearts filled with love and gratitude. They stopped to listen to the children singing carols, their voices sweet and pure. They watched as families gathered around the Christmas tree, its lights twinkling brightly in the night sky. They shared smiles with strangers, exchanged warm greetings with friends, and felt the true spirit of Christmas enveloping them like a warm embrace. As the evening wore on, the crowd began to thin. The villagers retreated to their homes, eager to celebrate Christmas Eve with their loved ones. Elara and Leo decided to do the same. They walked back to the cabin, their footsteps crunching softly in the snow. The cabin was warm and inviting, the fire still burning brightly in the hearth. The scent of pine needles and cinnamon filled the air, a reminder of the magic they had created. They sat by the fire, wrapped in blankets, sipping hot chocolate and sharing stories. "This has been the most magical Christmas Eve I've ever experienced," Elara said softly. Leo nodded. "It's been perfect," he said. "Sharing the perfumes with the villagers, seeing their joy, it's been truly special." They sat in silence for a moment, each lost in their own thoughts. Elara thought about her grandmother, about the story she had told her about the music box, about the magic of Christmas. She wished she could be here to see what they had accomplished. "I think she would be proud of us," Elara said, her voice filled with emotion. Leo nodded. "I think so too," he said. "She would be happy to see that we've shared the magic with others." They looked at each other, their eyes filled with love and understanding. They knew that their journey had just begun. They had found their passion, they had found their purpose, they had found their love. And they knew that they would continue to share their magic with the world, spreading joy, spreading hope, spreading the scent of Christmas. Chapter 10. The Language of the Heart. The warmth of the cabin embraced them, a stark contrast to the crisp, starlit Christmas Eve outside. Elara and Leo, nestled by the fire, shared a quiet contentment. The echoes of joy from the village still resonated within them, a sweet melody that lingered in the air along with the faint, enchanting scent of the perfumes. The magic of the day had woven itself into the very fabric of their being, strengthening the bond between them. "I can't believe how much has changed," Elara murmured, gazing into the dancing flames. "Just a few days ago, I was lost, adrift in a world without scent, without hope. And now," Leo gently took her hand, his touch warm and reassuring. "And now you've rediscovered your passion, your talent, your joy," he finished for her. "You've brought magic back into your life, Elara, and you've shared it with so many others." Elara smiled, her heart overflowing with gratitude. "And I couldn't have done it without you," she said, her voice soft with affection. "You believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself." Leo squeezed her hand gently. "I saw the magic within you, Elara," he said. "It was always there, waiting to be unleashed." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, the only sound the crackling of the fire and the gentle whisper of the wind outside. The air was filled with a sense of peace, a sense of belonging, a sense of love. "Tell me," Elara said, breaking the silence. "Tell me about your dreams, Leo. What do you hope for in the future?" Leo looked at her, his eyes reflecting the flickering firelight. "I dream of traveling the world," he said, his voice filled with passion. "I want to explore different cultures, to learn about their traditions, to experience their magic. And I want to continue restoring music boxes, bringing their stories back to life. And you want to do it alone? Alara asked, a hint of playful challenge in her voice. Leo smiled. Not if I can help it, he said, his gaze locking with hers. I'd much rather travel with you, Alara, sharing our gifts with the world, spreading joy and hope wherever we go. Alara's heart skipped a beat. She had been thinking the same thing, dreaming of a future with Leo, a future filled with adventure, creativity, and love. I would love that, she said, her voice filled with warmth. I want to explore the world with you, to experience its scents, its colors, its magic. They talked for hours, sharing their dreams, their hopes, their fears. They spoke of their love for each other, a love that had blossomed amidst the magic of Christmas, a love that was as warm and comforting as the fire burning in the hearth. As the night deepened, a sense of tranquility settled over the cabin. The fire began to dwindle, casting a soft, golden glow on Alara and Leo. They sat close, their bodies touching, their hearts connected. I love you, Alara, Leo whispered, his voice filled with tenderness. Alara smiled, her eyes filled with love. I love you too, Leo, she replied. He leaned in and kissed her softly on the lips, a kiss that was filled with warmth, passion, and the promise of a future together. It was a kiss that spoke a language beyond words, a language of the heart, a language of love. They held each other close, their bodies entwined, their souls connected. They knew that they had found something special, something rare, something magical. They had found love in the midst of winter, hope in the face of despair, joy in the heart of Christmas. As the first rays of dawn began to peek through the cabin windows, Alara and Leo knew that their journey had just begun. They had found each other, they had found their passion, they had found their purpose. And they knew that they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, together, hand in hand, heart to heart, guided by the magic of Christmas and the language of their love. Chapter 11. The Dawn of Dreams. The first rays of dawn, tinged with the rosy hues of a winter sunrise, crept through the frost-kissed windows of the cabin, gently awakening Alara. She stirred in Leo's arms, a feeling of warmth and contentment enveloping her. The memories of the previous night, the shared laughter, the whispered confessions of love, the promise of a future together, danced in her mind like the shimmering scent sprites she had witnessed days before. She felt a sense of peace she hadn't known in years, a feeling of belonging, of finally finding her place in the world. She looked at Leo, his face peaceful in sleep, his dark hair tousled against the pillow. A gentle smile touched her lips. He had brought so much light back into her life, rekindling her passion, reigniting her hope, and showing her the true meaning of love. She traced the line of his jaw with a delicate finger, her heart overflowing with affection. Carefully, she disentangled herself from his embrace, not wanting to disturb his slumber. She rose and went to the window, gazing out at the snow-covered landscape. The world was bathed in a soft, ethereal light, the snow sparkling like a million tiny diamonds. The air was crisp and clean, carrying the faint scent of pine and the lingering aroma of her Christmas perfumes. It was a perfect Christmas morning. She went downstairs, the floorboards creaking softly beneath her feet. She rekindled the fire in the hearth, adding a few logs to the embers, watching as the flames danced and flickered, casting a warm glow on the cabin walls. She put on a pot of coffee, the aroma filling the air, mingling with the scents of pine and cinnamon. As the coffee brewed, she went to the attic, eager to start working on her new perfumes. She had so many ideas swirling in her mind, so many scents she wanted to capture, so many emotions she wanted to express. She gathered her essential oils, her blending tools, her notebooks, and spread them out on the table, ready to begin her creative process. She thought about the scent of the scent sprites, that ethereal fragrance that seemed to embody the magic of Christmas. She wanted to create a perfume that captured that essence, a scent that would evoke feelings of wonder and enchantment. She experimented with different combinations of floral and citrus notes, trying to find the perfect balance, the perfect blend. She also thought about the scent of hope, that elusive aroma that she had experienced during the music box's magic. She wanted to create a perfume that captured that feeling of possibility, that sense of new beginnings. She experimented with warm, comforting scents like vanilla and sandalwood, trying to create a fragrance that would inspire hope and optimism. As she worked, her mind drifted back to Leo. She thought about his kindness, his warmth, his unwavering belief in her. She thought about their shared dreams, their plans to travel the world, their promise to share their magic with others. She felt a surge of love and gratitude towards him, a feeling that grew stronger with each passing moment. She decided to create a special perfume for him, a scent that would capture his essence, his spirit, his love. She thought about his laughter, his playful nature, his gentle strength. She experimented with spicy and woody notes, trying to create a fragrance that would reflect his personality. Hours passed as she worked, lost in her creative process. The sun climbed higher in the sky, casting a warm light across the attic. The air was filled with a symphony of aromas, a blend of floral, citrus, spicy, and woody notes, all interwoven with the subtle, enchanting scent of the scent sprites. Finally, she finished her creations. She had created 3 new perfumes: Scent of the Enchanted Forest, a fragrance that captured the magic of the scent sprites; Whispers of Hope, a scent that evoked feelings of possibility and new beginnings; and Leo's Heart, a perfume that reflected his spirit, his love, his essence. She carefully bottled the perfumes, labeling each one with a flourish. She admired her creations, their delicate colors, their shimmering light. She knew that these perfumes were more than just fragrances. They were emotions, memories, stories bottled in glass. They were a gift, a way to share the magic of Christmas with the world. Just then, she heard Leo's voice calling her from downstairs. She smiled, her heart filled with anticipation. She knew that he was awake, that he was waiting for her. She took the bottles of perfume and went downstairs, eager to share her creations with the man she loved. She couldn't wait to see the look on his face when he smelled Leo's Heart. It was her way of telling him how much she loved him, how much he meant to her. It was her way of expressing the language of her heart, the language of scent, the language of love. Chapter 13, A Journey Begins. The crisp morning air, carrying the scent of pine and the faintest whisper of snow, invigorated Alara and Leo as they packed their belongings. The cabin, which had been a sanctuary of solitude for Alara and a place of burgeoning love for both of them, now felt like a launching pad. The perfumes, carefully nestled in protective cases, were their most precious cargo, each bottle a vessel of memories, emotions, and the magic of Christmas. Their shared dream of traveling the world, spreading joy and hope through scent and music, was about to become a reality. "Are you sure we have everything?" Alara asked, a touch of nervous excitement in her voice. She checked the list they had meticulously compiled, running her finger down the items. Essential oils, blending tools, music box repair kit, warm clothes. Leo, ever the optimist, grinned. "Relax," he said, slinging his worn leather satchel over his shoulder. "We have everything we need. And if we forget something, we'll figure it out along the way. That's part of the adventure, isn't it?" Alara smiled, her anxiety easing. He was right. This journey was about embracing the unknown, about trusting in their abilities and in the magic that had brought them together. She took one last look around the cabin, a pang of bittersweet nostalgia tugging at her heart. This place had been her refuge, her prison, and ultimately, her rebirth. It held so many memories, both painful and precious. But now, it was time to move on, to create new memories, to share the magic with the world. They stepped outside, the snow crunching softly beneath their boots. The sun was shining brightly, turning the snow-covered landscape into a dazzling spectacle of light. The air was crisp and clean, carrying the scent of pine and the faint aroma of the perfumes that lingered on their clothes. They loaded their belongings into Leo's van, a reliable vehicle that had seen its share of adventures. "Where to first?" Alara asked as they settled into the van. Leo pulled out a map, its edges worn and frayed. "I thought we could start in the smaller villages in the Alps," he said. "They're often overlooked by tourists, but they have a charm all their own. And I've heard there are some incredible music box collectors in this area." Alara nodded. "That sounds perfect," she said. "We can share the perfumes with the villagers, and you can connect with your fellow music box enthusiasts." Leo grinned. "It's a win-win," he said. He started the engine, and the van rumbled to life. They set off, leaving the cabin behind, embarking on their grand adventure. As they drove through the winding mountain roads, Alara felt a sense of exhilaration. The world stretched before them, full of possibilities, full of magic. She looked at Leo, his face filled with joy and anticipation, and her heart overflowed with love. Their first stop was a small village nestled in a valley, surrounded by towering peaks. The village was quaint and charming, with colorful houses clustered around a central square. The villagers were warm and welcoming, eager to hear their story and to experience the magic of the perfumes. Alara and Leo set up a small table in the square, displaying the perfumes and sharing their story with the villagers. The response was overwhelming. People were touched by the gift of the perfumes, each scent evoking different memories, different emotions, different joys. Alara watched as a woman, her eyes filled with tears, inhaled the scent of whispers of hope, and smiled. "It smells like my mother," she said. "Thank you for bringing back this memory." Leo, meanwhile, connected with a local clockmaker who had a collection of antique music boxes. They spent hours discussing the intricate mechanisms, the history of the music boxes, and the magic they held. Leo was thrilled to find someone who shared his passion, and he was able to offer his expertise in repairing some of the clockmaker's prized possessions. That evening, Alara and Leo were invited to share dinner with a local family. The meal was simple but delicious, and the conversation flowed easily. They learned about the village's traditions, its history, its people. They felt a sense of belonging, a connection to this small community. As they left the village the next morning, Alara and Leo felt a sense of fulfillment. They had shared their magic, they had brought joy to others, and they had connected with people who shared their passions. Their journey had just begun, but they already knew that it was going to be an incredible adventure. The world was waiting for them, full of scents, music, and the magic of human connection. They were ready to embrace it, together, hand in hand, heart to heart. Chapter 14: The Melody of the Mountains. The winding mountain roads, a ribbon of asphalt threading through the breathtaking landscape, became Alara and Leo's constant companion. Each bend revealed a new vista, a panorama of snow-capped peaks, verdant valleys, and quaint villages clinging to the mountainsides. The van, their trusty steed, carried them further into the heart of the Alps, each mile adding another layer to their shared adventure. The air, crisp and clean, carried the scent of pine, damp earth, and the occasional whiff of wood smoke curling from chimney tops. Alara, gazing out the window, felt a sense of wonder growing within her. The world was so vast, so beautiful, so full of untold stories waiting to be discovered. Their journey wasn't just about sharing the perfumes. It was about connecting with people, understanding their cultures, and experiencing the unique magic that each place held. In one village, they stumbled upon a traditional Christmas market, the air thick with the aroma of roasted chestnuts, spiced gingerbread, and mulled wine. Alara, her senses awakened by the vibrant smells, felt a surge of creativity. She began to jot down notes, capturing the essence of the market in her mind. envisioning a new perfume that would embody the warmth and joy of this festive gathering. Leo, meanwhile, was captivated by the music, a lively folk tune played on accordions and fiddles. He tapped his foot to the rhythm, his heart filled with the infectious energy of the music. In another village, they encountered a group of artisans, crafting intricate wooden toys and hand-painted ornaments. Alara was fascinated by their skill, their dedication to their craft. She learned about the traditional techniques they used, the stories behind their creations. She realized that perfume making was also an art, a way of expressing creativity, of capturing emotions, of telling stories through scent. Leo, drawn to the intricate detail of the toys, found himself discussing the mechanics of their construction with one of the artisans. He discovered a shared interest in how things worked, the intricate balance of form and function. Their travels weren't without their challenges. One day, a sudden snowstorm trapped them in a small mountain pass. The wind howled fiercely, the snow fell thick and fast, and the visibility was reduced to almost nothing. Alara felt a flicker of fear, remembering the isolation of her cabin during the previous blizzard. But Leo, ever the optimist, reassured her. "We'll be fine," he said, his voice calm and steady. "We have each other, and we have the van. We'll wait it out." They huddled together in the van, sharing stories, laughing, and keeping each other warm. Alara realized that even in the face of adversity, their bond was strong, their love unwavering. The storm eventually subsided, and they were able to continue their journey, their connection deepened by the shared experience. As they traveled, Leo continued to connect with music box enthusiasts, discovering hidden gems in attics and antique shops. He repaired these forgotten treasures, bringing their melodies back to life, sharing their magic with new generations. Alara, inspired by the beauty of the music boxes and the stories they held, began to incorporate musical themes into her perfume creations. She envisioned scents that would evoke the feeling of listening to a favorite melody, perfumes that would transport people to a world of music and emotion. One evening, they arrived in a small village known for its annual Christmas concert. The village church, a beautiful stone building with a soaring steeple, was filled with the sound of music, a choir rehearsing for the upcoming performance. Alara and Leo were drawn to the church, eager to hear the music. They slipped inside, finding seats near the back. The choir's voices, soaring through the vaulted ceilings, filled the church with a sense of peace and joy. Alara felt tears welling up in her eyes. The music was so beautiful, so moving. It touched her heart in a way that she couldn't explain. After the rehearsal, they spoke with the choir director, a kind and passionate woman named Anna. She told them about the history of the choir, the tradition of the Christmas concert, the importance of music in the village. Alara and Leo were touched by her dedication, her love for music, her commitment to her community. They offered to share their perfumes with the choir members, a small token of their appreciation. Anna was delighted, and she invited them to attend the concert the following evening. The Christmas concert was a magical event. The church was packed with villagers, all eager to hear the music. The choir's voices, even more beautiful than during the rehearsal, filled the church with a sense of wonder and joy. Alara and Leo sat hand in hand, their hearts overflowing with love and happiness. They had found their purpose, their passion, their magic. They were sharing their gifts with the world, spreading joy, spreading hope, spreading the scent of Christmas. And they were doing it together, hand in hand, heart to heart. Their love as strong and beautiful as the melody of the mountains. Chapter 15, The Symphony of Stars. The Christmas concert in the small mountain village had been a resounding success. The choir's voices, amplified by the acoustics of the ancient stone church, had soared through the air, weaving a tapestry of sound that resonated deep within the hearts of all who listened. Alara and Leo, sitting hand in hand, had felt a profound sense of connection, not only to the music, but also to each other and to the community gathered around them. The shared experience had deepened their bond, reinforcing their belief in the power of music, scent, and human connection. As they left the church, the crisp night air nipped at their cheeks, a welcome contrast to the warmth of the crowded building. The sky, a canvas of deep indigo, was sprinkled with 1,000,000 stars, each one twinkling like a tiny beacon of light. The moon, a silver crescent, cast a gentle glow on the snow-covered landscape, transforming the village into a scene of magical beauty. "It was beautiful," Alara murmured, her voice filled with emotion. The music, the atmosphere, the feeling of community, it was truly magical. Leo nodded, his eyes sparkling in the moonlight. "It was," he agreed. "Music has a way of touching the soul, of connecting us to something larger than ourselves." They walked hand in hand through the silent village streets, the only sound their footsteps crunching softly on the snow. The air was still and peaceful, carrying the faint scent of wood smoke and the lingering aroma of Alara's perfumes, which had been gifted to the choir members earlier that day. The perfumes, now mingling with the crisp mountain air, seemed to have taken on a life of their own, becoming an integral part of the village's Christmas celebration. "I've been thinking," Alara said, breaking the silence, "about how music and scent are so intertwined. They both have the power to evoke emotions, to trigger memories, to transport us to another time and place." Leo nodded. "They're both languages of the soul," he said. "They speak to us in a way that words can't." Alara smiled. "I want to create a perfume inspired by the concert," she said. "A scent that captures the beauty of the music, the magic of the night, the feeling of peace and joy." Leo's eyes lit up. "That's a wonderful idea," he said. "You could call it Symphony of Stars." Alara laughed. "I love it," she said. "That's perfect." They continued their walk, discussing the new perfume, brainstorming ideas for its composition. Alara envisioned a blend of floral and woody notes, a fragrance that would capture the ethereal beauty of the music and the serene tranquility of the night. She imagined a touch of spice, a hint of warmth, to represent the joy and community that had filled the church. As they reached their van, parked at the edge of the village, they paused, gazing up at the starlit sky. The stars seemed to be dancing, twinkling in time with an invisible melody. "It's like a symphony of stars," Alara whispered, her voice filled with awe. Leo took her hand, his touch warm and comforting. "It is," he agreed, "and we're a part of it." They got into the van, their hearts filled with inspiration and excitement. They decided to stay in the village for another day, to explore the surrounding area, to gather inspiration for their new creations. The next morning, they hiked through the snow-covered forests, their senses awakened by the beauty of nature. The air was filled with the scent of pine, damp earth, and the crisp, clean fragrance of the snow. They listened to the sounds of the forest, the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, the gentle murmur of a nearby stream. Alara gathered samples of pine needles, wildflowers, and other natural elements, eager to incorporate them into her new perfume. Leo, meanwhile, explored the village, discovering hidden gems, a small antique shop with a collection of rare music boxes, a local bakery with the aroma of freshly baked bread, a cozy cafe with the scent of strong coffee. They spent the day immersed in their respective pursuits, their creativity flowing, their inspiration growing. As the sun began to set, they met back at the van, their faces glowing with excitement. "I've got some wonderful ideas for Symphony of Stars," Alara said, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "I've found the perfect blend of essential oils to capture the beauty of the music and the magic of the night." Leo smiled. "I've found a few interesting music boxes," he said, "and I've discovered a local musician who plays the most beautiful folk music. I think you'll love it." They shared their discoveries, their ideas, their inspiration. They knew that they were creating something special, something meaningful, something that would touch the hearts of others. They were creating a symphony of their own, a symphony of scent, music, and love. And they were ready to share it with the world. Chapter 16. The Rhythm of the Road. The next morning, Alara and Leo packed their belongings, their hearts brimming with anticipation for the journey ahead. The small mountain village, with its charming church and its symphony of stars, had left an indelible mark on their souls. Alara's notebook was filled with new ideas, sketches of scent combinations inspired by the music, the forest, and the crisp mountain air. Leo's satchel held 2 newly restored music boxes, their melodies waiting to be shared. They climbed into their trusty van, their home on wheels, and set off once more, the rhythm of the road becoming a familiar soundtrack to their adventure. Their journey took them through winding mountain passes, past breathtaking vistas of snow-capped peaks and emerald valleys. They stopped at tiny hamlets, each with its own unique charm, its own story to tell. In one village, they encountered a group of weavers, their nimble fingers creating intricate tapestries depicting scenes of mountain life. Alara was fascinated by the vibrant colors, the intricate patterns, the stories woven into the fabric. She realized that perfume, like weaving, was a craft, a way of creating something beautiful and meaningful from raw materials. Leo, drawn to the rhythmic click-clack of the looms, discovered a shared appreciation for the intricate processes involved in creating something tangible. In another village, they stumbled upon a small, family-run bakery, the air thick with the aroma of freshly baked bread. Alara's senses were overwhelmed by the warm, comforting scent, a reminder of her grandmother's Christmas baking. She purchased a loaf of crusty bread, still warm from the oven, and savored the taste, the texture, the simple pleasure of freshly baked bread. Leo, drawn to the warmth of the bakery and the friendly chatter of the bakers, found himself discussing the art of bread making, the science of yeast and flour, the magic of transforming simple ingredients into something nourishing and delicious. Their travels weren't just about discovering new places. They were also about discovering new aspects of themselves, new connections with each other. Alara, inspired by the artisans and craftspeople they met, felt her creativity blossoming. She experimented with new scent combinations, incorporating elements from the natural world, the earthy scent of damp soil, the crisp fragrance of mountain flowers, the spicy aroma of wild herbs. Leo, meanwhile, continued to connect with music box enthusiasts, sharing his expertise in repairing and restoring these treasured objects. He discovered hidden gems in antique shops, attics, and private collections, each music box with its own unique story, its own enchanting melody. One day, they arrived in a larger town, a bustling center of commerce and culture. The town was known for its annual winter festival, a celebration of music, art, and food. The streets were filled with people, their faces bright with festive cheer. The air was alive with the sounds of music, laughter, and the tantalizing aromas of street food. Alara and Leo set up a small booth in the town square, displaying their perfumes and sharing their story with the festival goers. The response was overwhelming. People were drawn to the beautiful fragrances, the stories behind them, the warmth and enthusiasm of Alara and Leo. They sold out of their perfumes quickly, their hearts filled with joy and gratitude. Leo, meanwhile, connected with a local musician, a talented violinist who played traditional folk music. They spent hours discussing music, sharing their passion for its power to move and inspire. Leo discovered that the violinist also collected antique music boxes, and he was thrilled to examine his collection, offering his expertise in repairing and restoring some of the instruments. That evening, Alara and Leo attended the winter festival, their hearts filled with the festive spirit. They watched as dancers twirled and twirled to the music, their colorful costumes swirling around them. They listened to the musicians playing their instruments, their melodies filling the air with joy and energy. They tasted the delicious food, savoring the flavors of local specialties. As they walked through the bustling festival, hand in hand, Alara and Leo felt a deep sense of connection, not only to each other, but also to the community gathered around them. They had found their purpose, their passion, their magic. They were sharing their gifts with the world, spreading joy, spreading hope, spreading the scent of Christmas. And they were doing it together, hand in hand, heart to heart. Their love as strong and vibrant as the music of the festival. The rhythm of the road had become their rhythm, a constant reminder of the journey they were on, a journey of love, creativity, and the magic of human connection. Chapter 17: The Whispers of the Past. The Winter Festival, a vibrant tapestry of music, art, and festive cheer, had rejuvenated Alara and Leo's spirits. They left the bustling town with a renewed sense of purpose, their van humming along the winding roads, carrying them deeper into the heart of the Alps. The festive energy of the festival lingered with them, a warm glow in their hearts, inspiring new ideas, new scents, new melodies. Alara, her notebook filled with sketches and scent combinations inspired by the festival's vibrant atmosphere, was eager to begin experimenting with new perfume formulas. Leo, his satchel holding a newly restored antique music box with a hauntingly beautiful melody, was eager to share its magic with others. Their journey took them to a remote village, nestled high in the mountains, a place where time seemed to move at a slower pace. The village was small and quiet, its inhabitants living a simple life, deeply connected to the land. The air was crisp and clean, carrying the scent of pine, damp earth, and the faint aroma of wood smoke curling from chimney tops. Alara and Leo were immediately drawn to the village's peaceful atmosphere, its sense of community, its connection to the past. They set up a small booth in the village square, displaying their perfumes and sharing their story with the villagers. The villagers, initially reserved, were soon charmed by Alara's warmth and Leo's gentle nature. They were fascinated by the perfumes, each scent evoking memories, emotions, stories. They were touched by the couple's generosity, their willingness to share their gifts with others. As Alara interacted with the villagers, she discovered a rich history, a deep connection to tradition, a reverence for the past. She learned about ancient customs, local legends, and the stories passed down through generations. She realized that this village, more than any other they had visited, held a powerful connection to the past, a sense of continuity that was both comforting and inspiring. Leo, meanwhile, connected with an elderly woman, a local historian, who had a collection of antique music boxes. She shared stories about each music box, its history, its previous owners, the melodies it held. Leo was captivated by her stories, her passion for preserving the past. He spent hours with her, listening to her tales, examining her music boxes, and sharing his expertise in repairing and restoring these treasured objects. One afternoon, as Alara explored the village, she stumbled upon an old, abandoned house, its windows boarded up, its paint peeling. The house seemed to exude a sense of sadness, a whisper of forgotten memories. Alara felt drawn to it, a sense of curiosity pulling her closer. She peered through a crack in one of the boarded-up windows, catching a glimpse of dusty furniture, faded wallpaper, and a general air of neglect. She felt a pang of sadness, imagining the lives that had been lived within those walls, the stories that had unfolded there. She wondered what had happened to the family that had once called this house home. She felt a strong desire to learn more about its history, to uncover the whispers of the past. She shared her discovery with Leo, and he was equally intrigued. They decided to explore the house further, hoping to find clues about its past. They returned the next day, armed with tools and flashlights, and carefully made their way inside. The house was filled with dust and cobwebs, the air thick with the scent of decay. Sunlight filtered through cracks in the boarded-up windows, casting long, eerie shadows across the dusty furniture. Alara and Leo explored each room, their imaginations running wild, picturing the lives that had once filled this space. In the attic, they discovered a trunk filled with old letters, photographs, and diaries. They carefully examined the contents, piecing together the story of the family that had lived in the house. They learned about their joys, their sorrows, their dreams, their losses. They discovered a tragic story, a tale of love, loss, and the enduring power of memory. As they read the letters and diaries, they felt a deep connection to the family, a sense of empathy for their struggles. They realized that the house wasn't just a building. It was a vessel of memories, a repository of human experience. It held the whispers of the past, the echoes of lives lived, the stories waiting to be told. Alara and Leo felt a responsibility to share these stories, to honor the memory of the family that had once called this house home. They decided to create a perfume inspired by the house, a scent that would capture the essence of its history, the whispers of its past. They wanted to create a fragrance that would evoke the emotions, the memories, the stories that had unfolded within its walls. They knew it would be a challenging task, but they were determined to capture the magic, the mystery, the whispers of the past. Chapter 18: The Fragrance of Forgotten Memories. The abandoned house, a silent sentinel of a bygone era, held Alara and Leo captive in its dusty embrace. The whispers of the past, gleaned from the trunk of letters, photographs, and diaries, swirled around them like the dust motes dancing in the slivers of sunlight piercing through the boarded-up windows. They felt a profound connection to the family whose lives had unfolded within these walls, a family whose story was now entwined with their own. The weight of their discovery settled upon them, a responsibility to honor the memories they had unearthed, to give voice to the whispers of the past. Alara, her senses heightened by the emotional weight of the story, began to envision a new perfume, a fragrance that would capture the essence of the house, the lives lived within it, the passage of time itself. She imagined a blend of scents, the musty aroma of aged wood, the faint floral notes of a forgotten garden, the subtle spice of old potpourri, all interwoven with a touch of something ethereal, something that spoke of memories and loss. Leo, meanwhile, felt drawn to the house's silent melody, the echoes of laughter, tears, and whispered secrets that seemed to linger in the air. He wandered through the rooms, his fingers tracing the faded patterns on the wallpaper, the worn spots on the wooden floors, the dust-covered furniture. He imagined the music that might have once filled these rooms, the melodies that had accompanied celebrations, comforted sorrows, and marked the rhythm of daily life. As they explored the house, they discovered more clues about the family's history. In the library, they found a collection of books, their pages filled with handwritten notes and pressed flowers. In the music room, they found a grand piano, its keys yellowed with age, its strings long silent. In the attic, they found a child's toy, a wooden rocking horse, its paint chipped and worn, a poignant reminder of childhood innocence and joy. Each discovery added another layer to the story, another piece to the puzzle of the past. Alara and Leo felt a growing sense of empathy for the family, a deep respect for their experiences, their struggles, their love. They realized that the house wasn't just a collection of objects. It was a testament to the human spirit, its resilience, its capacity for love, its enduring power to leave a mark on the world. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the dusty rooms, Alara and Leo gathered their belongings, their hearts filled with a mixture of sadness and inspiration. They left the house, closing the door behind them, leaving the whispers of the past to settle once more. But they carried the memories with them, etched in their minds, woven into their souls. Back in their van, they discussed their discoveries, their emotions, their ideas for the new perfume. Alara described the scent she envisioned, a fragrance that would capture the essence of the house, its history, its memories. Leo spoke of the music he imagined filling the rooms, the melodies that would bring the house back to life, if only in their imaginations. They decided to call the perfume Fragrance of Forgotten Memories, a name that reflected the essence of the house, the whispers of the past, the stories waiting to be told. Alara began to experiment with different scent combinations, blending essential oils, tinctures, and fragrant essences, trying to capture the feeling of age, loss, and the enduring power of memory. Leo, inspired by the house's silent melody, began to compose a new piece of music, a melody that would evoke the emotions, the memories, the stories that had unfolded within its walls. He imagined the piano in the music room, its keys responding to his touch, its strings vibrating with life. He imagined the laughter of children echoing through the hallways, the whispers of lovers in the garden, the comforting murmur of conversation in the library. As they traveled, they continued to work on their respective projects, their creativity fueled by the memories of the abandoned house, the whispers of the past. They knew that they were creating something special, something meaningful, something that would touch the hearts of others. They were creating a tribute to a family they had never met, a celebration of lives lived, a testament to the enduring power of memory. They were creating a fragrance and a melody that would bring the whispers of the past to life, sharing their stories with the world, ensuring that they would not be forgotten. Chapter 19: The Resonance of Remembrance. The abandoned house, a vessel of forgotten memories, had become a wellspring of creativity for Alara and Leo. The echoes of lives lived, the whispers of the past, had ignited their imaginations, inspiring them to create a perfume and a melody that would capture the essence of the house, its history, its soul. As they journeyed through the Alps, the image of the house, its dusty rooms, its faded grandeur, remained vivid in their minds, a constant reminder of the stories they were about to tell. Alara, her senses attuned to the subtle nuances of scent, meticulously blended essential oils, tinctures, and fragrant essences, striving to recreate the atmosphere of the house, the emotions it evoked. She sought to capture the musty aroma of aged wood, the delicate fragrance of dried flowers, the subtle spice of forgotten potpourri, the lingering scent of old books, all interwoven with a touch of something ethereal, something that spoke of memories, loss, and the enduring power of love. She experimented with different combinations, carefully balancing each note, each aroma, until she achieved the desired effect, a fragrance that whispered of forgotten times, a scent that resonated with the echoes of the past. Leo, meanwhile, his fingers dancing across the strings of his guitar, composed a melody that echoed the silent music of the house. He sought to capture the rhythm of life that had once filled its rooms, the laughter of children, the whispers of lovers, the comforting murmur of conversation. He imagined the grand piano in the music room, its keys responding to his touch, its strings vibrating with life, filling the house with music once more. He poured his emotions into the melody, his empathy for the family whose story he had unearthed, his respect for their experiences, his desire to bring their memories to life. As they traveled, they shared their progress with each other, their excitement growing with each new discovery, each new creation. Alara described the fragrance she was developing, the subtle blend of scents that evoked the atmosphere of the house, the emotions it stirred within her. Leo played his melody for Alara, his music echoing the whispers of the past, the stories they had uncovered. They found that their creations complemented each other perfectly, the perfume enhancing the emotional depth of the music, the melody amplifying the evocative power of the scent. One evening, they arrived in a small town nestled in a valley, a place known for its annual storytelling festival. The townspeople gathered around a bonfire, sharing tales of local legends, ancient customs, and personal experiences. Alara and Leo felt drawn to the festival, eager to share their own story, the story of the abandoned house, the fragrance of forgotten memories, the resonance of remembrance. They approached the festival organizers, offering to share their creations with the audience. The organizers were intrigued by their story, their passion, their unique blend of scent and music. They invited Alara and Leo to perform at the festival, giving them a platform to share their art with the community. The night of the festival arrived, the air filled with anticipation, the crackling of the bonfire, the murmur of excited voices. Alara and Leo took the stage, their hearts pounding with a mixture of nervousness and excitement. Alara introduced their performance, sharing the story of the abandoned house, the family whose lives had unfolded within its walls, the memories they had unearthed. She spoke of the perfume she had created, fragrance of forgotten memories, a scent that captured the essence of the house, its history, its soul. Leo then began to play his guitar, his melody echoing the whispers of the past, the stories they had uncovered. The music was hauntingly beautiful, filled with emotion, evoking images of dusty rooms, faded wallpaper, forgotten gardens. As Leo played, Alara opened bottles of fragrance of forgotten memories, allowing the scent to drift through the air, enhancing the emotional impact of the music. The audience was captivated, their senses heightened by the combination of scent and sound. They closed their eyes, allowing the fragrance and the melody to transport them to another time, another place. They felt a connection to the family whose story was being told, a sense of empathy for their experiences, a deep appreciation for the power of memory. As the performance ended, a hush fell over the crowd, followed by a wave of applause. People were moved by the beauty of the music, the evocative power of the scent, the emotional depth of the story. They approached Alara and Leo, expressing their gratitude for sharing such a profound and moving experience. Alara and Leo felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had shared their art with the world. They had brought the whispers of the past to life. They had touched the hearts of others. They knew that their journey was more than just a quest for adventure. It was a mission to connect with people, to share their gifts, to spread the magic of scent, music, and storytelling. And they knew that they would continue to do so, hand in hand, heart to heart. Their love as strong and resonant as the memories they had brought to life. Chapter 20. The Symphony of Christmas Magic. The Storytelling Festival, a celebration of shared experiences and the power of narrative, had been a resounding success for Alara and Leo. Their performance, a poignant blend of scent and music, had resonated deeply with the audience, evoking memories, stirring emotions, and reaffirming the enduring power of human connection. The abandoned house, its whispers of the past brought to life through their art, had become more than just a place. It had become a symbol of remembrance, a testament to the enduring nature of love and loss. As they left the small town, there van once again their trusty companion. Alara and Leo felt a sense of completion, a feeling that they had honored the memories they had unearthed, that they had shared their gifts with the world. Their journey through the Alps, a tapestry of experiences woven with threads of scent, music, and human connection, was nearing its end, but the magic they had created would continue to resonate long after they returned home. Their travels took them back to the village where their journey had begun, the small community nestled in the valley, surrounded by the towering peaks. They felt a pull to return, a desire to revisit the place where their adventure had started, to reflect on all they had experienced, all they had learned, all they had created. As they drove through the familiar mountain roads, Alara felt a sense of nostalgia, a longing for the quiet solitude of her cabin, the place where her life had been transformed, where her passion had been rekindled, where her love for Leo had blossomed. She looked at him, his face filled with a quiet contentment, and her heart overflowed with love and gratitude. They arrived in the village, the familiar sights and sounds welcoming them like old friends. They parked the van near the village square, the place where they had first shared their perfumes with the community, the place where their journey had truly begun. The village was quiet, the festive energy of Christmas having subsided, replaced by a sense of peaceful tranquility. The snow still blanketed the landscape, a pristine white canvas reflecting the soft light of the winter sun. The air was crisp and clean, carrying the scent of pine and the faint aroma of wood smoke. They walked hand in hand through the village streets, revisiting the places that held special memories for them. They stopped at the small church where they had attended the Christmas concert, the music still echoing in their minds. They visited the bakery where they had savored the warmth of freshly baked bread, the aroma still lingering in their senses. They strolled through the market square, remembering the joy of sharing their perfumes with the villagers, the smiles on their faces, the gratitude in their eyes. As they walked, they talked about their experiences, their discoveries, their creations. They shared their favorite memories, the moments that had touched them the most, the connections they had made with the people they had met. They reflected on the journey they had taken, the personal growth they had experienced, the love that had deepened with each passing day. They returned to Alara's cabin, the place where their magic had been born, the sanctuary of their love. The cabin was warm and inviting, the fire crackling merrily in the hearth, casting a familiar glow on the walls. The scent of pine and cinnamon filled the air, a comforting aroma that welcomed them home. They unpacked their belongings, carefully placing the perfumes on the shelves, each bottle a vessel of memories, emotions, stories. They unpacked the music boxes, each one holding a melody, a piece of magic waiting to be shared. They unpacked their notebooks, filled with sketches, formulas, melodies, the record of their creative journey. As they settled into the cabin, a sense of peace settled over them. They had come full circle, returning to the place where their adventure had begun, their hearts filled with gratitude, their souls enriched by their experiences. That evening, they sat by the fire, wrapped in blankets, sipping hot chocolate. They talked about their plans for the future, their dreams of continuing to share their gifts with the world, their commitment to each other. "We've created something special, Alara," Leo said, his voice filled with love and admiration. "We've created magic." Alara smiled, her heart overflowing with love. "We have," she said, "and it's all thanks to you, to the music box, to the scent sprites, to the magic of Christmas." Leo took her hand in his touch warm and comforting. "It's thanks to us," he said. "It's thanks to our love, our passion, our belief in the power of magic." They looked at each other, their eyes filled with love and understanding. They knew that their journey had just begun. They had found their purpose, their passion, their love. And they knew that they would continue to share their magic with the world, spreading joy, spreading hope, spreading the scent of Christmas, together, hand in hand, heart to heart. Their love as strong and beautiful as the symphony of Christmas magic that had brought them together. They had found their happily ever after, not in a grand castle or a faraway kingdom, but in the warmth of a small cabin, nestled in the heart of the Alps, surrounded by the magic of Christmas and the enduring power of their love.